The result of obedience in our lives, the result of us trusting God enough to live out His kingdom, even amongst our enemies, is fruitfulness, eternal fruitfulness. And when biblical disciples pay the ultimate price, Christ pays them the ultimate compliment. He says the world wasn't worthy of them. When we view our lives with an eternal perspective, death is just a doorway into resurrection life. And the call of the Christian in this earthly life is to live with eternity in mind. Anything less, and we're really no different from the world.
We get to watch Richard and Sibrina become believers, then become disciples, and then become exemplary biblical disciples of Christ, which means that they knew that they were supposed to have this costly walk of obedience in this world that would yield eternal fruit, and eternal fruit is the salvation of the lost, which is the work of God that He allows us to be a part of.
That was when I started collecting these. They remind me that the lost can be found.
It's always perfectly clear in the way that we think and see things, and the way that we behave and act, that at every point we are willing to trade something for eternal fruit. I'm willing to trade my time to bear eternal fruit. I'm willing to trade my energy. I'm willing to trade my wealth, my possessions. I'm willing to trade my safety and security. I'm willing to trade imprisonment or even death to bear fruit for eternity, because that's the mission, the purpose that I have in this world.
Meet Marzia and Mariam, two modern-day Sabinas, friends who shared Christ in their native country of Iran, friends who paid a price for their bold witness.
I grew up in an Islamic country which has a terrible record of suppressing human rights. And under the radical Islamic government, all other religious faiths are persecuted. Despite the persecution, I became a Christian more than 20 years ago.
You know, I also grew up in Iran, in an Islamic country. I grew up in a Muslim family, even though they were just Muslim by name.
I remember God spoke to me through one of my dreams. I never tasted such a love in my life, and I couldn't compare it with any love in this world. And I believe through that dream, God revealed two things to me. First, He revealed the true face of Islam to me, and also He revealed His love to me.
I also had the same feeling whenever I was praying namaz in Arabic, you know, repeating Arabic words. It was just, it didn't mean anything. One day I was home, my sister came home, she had a little booklet in her hand. The name of the booklet was, His Name is Wonderful. When I started reading from the first page, from the first few words, I could feel a very strong presence in my room. Every word that I was reading was speaking to my heart. I knew someone was with me.
Mariam and Marzia met at a Christian conference in Turkey. They decided to share an apartment back in Tehran and seek guidance from the Lord as to how they could serve Him.
We didn't have any idea what should we do, how we can serve the Lord, especially as women. It's much more difficult because women in Iran don't have equal rights with men, and there are a lot of restrictions for women. And we started praying and asking God to show us what we can do.
One of the first things that Richard and Sibrina would do in order to ultimately share Christ is get to know their neighbors. They had a pretty simple technique. Knock on the door, say hello, offer a small gift, maybe a bottle of jam or